The Euclid Creek Watershed program began in 2000 when 10 communities in the watershed organized informally to address common environmental, stormwater, and development concerns. Since then, Euclid Creek Watershed Council, the Friends of Euclid Creek, and Cuyahoga Soil and Water Conservation District worked together to implement the Euclid Creek Watershed Action Plan. I want to thank the district for this opportunity to share the great things happening in Euclid Creek. I love scanning through all our program photos and reflecting on the amazing people, programs, and projects that are dedicated to the health of Euclid Creek watershed. It's hard to believe that just last year we were gathering to celebrate the anniversary of 50 years since the last fire on the Cuyahoga River, when this year we had to all pivot to virtual programming for the 50th Earth Day. Since the start of our partnership with the district in 2009, the program has used WPSA funds to help leverage projects to protect undeveloped lands and riparian corridors. We're very grateful for leveraging almost $8 million from the program. For that, we thank you. The Euclid Creek watershed contains all or part of 12 municipalities and is mostly residential, with only 14% of the watershed undeveloped. With the high amount of impervious cover, the watershed has many challenges. We're grateful for our community partners that work together across their boundaries to improve the health of the environment in the Euclid Creek watershed. We are grateful to our local partners who assist us with educational programming, volunteer stewardship projects, grant applications and management, and water quality monitoring. What I think you will find as we go through the past 2 years' highlights is that our watershed program really relies on a large group of wonderful individuals. Kicking off our project highlights, our Willowby East Lake Stream 2019 efforts focused on final touches and tours. Students planted 2,500 live stakes and 800 wetland plugs. 9th grade creative writing students designed signage for the project. The project was featured on a local TV station and at the National Floodplain Managers Conference as part of the Rockin' Euclid Creek tour. 8th graders and 4th graders at Lower Hawken helped to plant 75 trees and shrubs and remove a stand of invasive Phragmites in 2019. In addition, tree stewards from the Holden Arboretum Western Reserve Land Conservancy program helped staff to lead the planting efforts. We're so thankful for this network of trained volunteers. South Euclid partnered with Cuyahoga Soil and Water Conservation District and contracted to install a 215 square foot bioswale, 3 native garden beds and native trees at the newly dedicated Landfare Park, thanks to a William Bingham Foundation grant to the Central Lake Erie Basin Collaborative in 2019. In early 2019, West Creek Conservancy was awarded a Clean Ohio grant to purchase the entire 37-acre parcel known as the Dusty Goldenrod Preserve. With the entire property now protected, protection and restoration activities have kicked into high gear. Deer exclosures have been constructed, invasive species removed from the meadow, and 900 live stakes have been planted to help address stream bank erosion. Be sure to check out our virtual tour on YouTube. Cuyahoga County worked with the City of Richmond Heights to design and install an enhanced swale at Richmond Heights Community Center this year. This location was experiencing erosion. The swale will help soak up 37,000 gallons of runoff during each 1-inch rain event to address downstream erosion. And last but not least, this year Cuyahoga Soil and Water Conservation District has worked with consultants on a 100% design project for the West Branch of Euclid Creek on the Mayfield Sand Ridge Golf Course campus in Lyndhurst. Staff from Soil and Water and the district have supported habitat and biological monitoring, and we're currently working on a grant with hopes for construction funding in the next year. Our focus in Euclid Creek is typically on educational programming and outreach, water quality monitoring, plantings and conservation site maintenance, stream cleanups and invasive species management. And in 2019, we added the Master Rain Gardener workshop to the mix. In 2020, things have looked a bit different. Overnight, spouses became videographers, staff became narrators and video editors. We made a real push to educate residents about individual actions they can take to help the health of Euclid Creek, whether it was sharing the Friends of Euclid Creek simple tips or encouraging residents to take actions in their yard so they could earn their own Watershed Champion sign. We wanted to focus on how individuals can make a difference. In an effort to help them take action in their own yard, we're working to provide in-depth programming like the Master Rain Gardener workshop to help move the bar. This year, 11 Master Rain Gardeners were Euclid Creek residents. We were especially excited about Euclid Councilwoman Christine McIntosh taking the course and building her first rain garden in Euclid. In 2019, Friends of Euclid Creek presented an environmental art show, hand-painted rain barrel workshop and auction, and hosted an environmental speaker series at the Beechwood Community Center. In 2020, 1,720 envelopes with environmental information were mailed to Creekside neighbors, and Friends of Euclid Creek worked on their brand new website where you can learn about all their additional programming. Since 2005, volunteers have conducted almost 9,000 observations at 10 monitoring stations in the watershed. New in 2020 is a partnership with Cleveland Water Alliance and Cleveland Metro Parks to use handheld technology for monitoring, in addition of Water Reporter to track all that data in real time. In 2019, we received a pitch from Cleveland Metro Parks watershed volunteer Emily Brown, who had noticed some litter hotspots at the Euclid Creek Reservation. This started an effort to up our anti-litter efforts with monthly cleanups and data collection. We hope to use this important data to communicate to our partners the importance of reducing our waste streams. Euclid Creek has its fair share of invasive plant problems. We work with volunteers to address Phragmites at Beechwood Middle School, Greenwood Farm, and Lower Hawkins School, mugwort at Wildwood, buckthorn in Beechwood, and Kelly Butowski with Friends of Euclid Creek even created a backyard invasive plant fact sheet that we can share with landowners. In addition to managing invasives, it's important to plant native species in the watershed to improve ecological diversity and to support native wildlife. In 2019 and 2020, volunteers have helped to plant 174 trees, 237 shrubs, 1,475 live stakes, and 1,216 native plants. We wish we had time to share more highlights with you, but you can always find out about our ongoing activities each month in our email newsletters. We also have routine posts to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. While our work isn't done yet, we want to thank the district for your continued commitment to the ultimate goal of swimmable, fishable waters in the Euclid Creek watershed. Thank you for your time and attention.